Hello and welcome to Along the Rock, our podcast that pays homage to the people and accomplishments of the Sauk Valley and the river that runs through it. I'm your host, Mark Morris. Joining me today from the two area United Ways, Keri Olson from the Lee Ogle United Way. Keri, thanks for coming up.
And I'm from Whiteside United Way.
Oh, you're Whiteside. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Had them mixed up. And Ashley Richter from the Lee Ogle County United Way. Ashley, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. This is an important time of the year for you guys, I know, because you're having to go places and talk people into, let's face it, giving money.
Yep, it is campaign season, so it's a busy time for us. Sorry.
I thought you were going to say something.
So I can always talk more. So it's campaign season. It's a busy time for us. And for us, it's not so much going and asking people for money. It's about telling the story of United Way and what we do and the impact we have in the community. And we do that with the help of a lot of volunteers who help make that possible.
Everybody has heard of the United Way. I don't think there's any question about that. And I have a feeling that a long time ago, that's where the phrase, "I gave at the office," probably started. Can you tell us some of the human aspects of United Way and why some of these programs are so vitally important and in some cases may be a matter of survival for people?
Yeah, so like you said, our United Way, we're busy with campaign season. So we go into a lot of workplaces and give all of the employees in the area an opportunity to give. For us, it's so important to be able to go in and share the story about what United Way is doing in the community and talk about how everyone can get involved. So our workplace campaigns are a big piece of that, and being able to have that support from local businesses for us is huge. And I think one of the things that makes United Way very different from a lot of other nonprofits. Another thing too for United Way is you can give to one place and you're supporting a variety of agencies, which makes it really unique. So I know for us, we have 33 partner agencies in Lee County and 20 in Ogle. So when you can give to United Way, you know you're supporting multiple programs in your community and multiple needs. So we're here to come in and help address multiple issues and problems in the community and find solutions for those problems. So I like to think of United Way as community connectors. We go out and we address multiple needs, not just the one that you might see as evident and needed in the community, but maybe someone that needs housing also needs transportation to get to their job, or they need clothing, or they need food. And we come in and we help support all of those programs. So I think personally for me, that's one thing that makes United Way really special. And when you think about donating, you can give to one place and know that you're supporting a lot of other.
And without that one central place, people would be getting request overload, if you will. Kind of like with the election coming up.
Yes. We try to help with that. So we do a lot of work to make sure that donations go where people want their money to go to. So we have them fill out lengthy applications. We look at their tax documents. We look at their audits. We go and visit them. We ask questions. We make sure that funding is going to programs that are needed and programs that work. And, it's important. We cover 3 counties between us, and donors can choose if they want their money to go to Whiteside County, they want it to go to Lee, they want it to go to Ogle. They can choose where they want their money to go. And we know that that's important because donors want their dollars to stay local. And so we work very hard on keeping all of that local and doing the work to make sure that dollars are going where they are needed and where they're having the biggest impact.
Mm-hmm. Whiteside County is what, about 65,000?
55, yep.
55, okay. And Lee and Ogle together has got to be, pretty close to that, or maybe even a little more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you get, I don't want to use the word stuck, but how did you get both counties in your territory?
So I'm a relatively new executive director. I've been in my position about a year and a half now. And originally, Lee County United Way has been established in the community since the 1960s. Originally, it started as a community trust and has grown from there into United Way. And essentially, that's what United Ways are, is people who care about the community coming together to raise funds to address multiple needs and programs. And about 2 years ago, Ogle County was under United Way of Rock River Valley in Rockford, and they approached the Lee County Board and asked if we would be interested in taking on the Ogle County territory because they thought it was very similar in nature to Lee County, more of a rural community, maybe similar needs that we're looking at addressing. And our board was very interested and, approved that. And we took on Ogle County from Rockford. And like Keri said, that is a big thing for us, is making sure everyone knows their dollars stay local to the counties they want them to stay. So we work in 2 counties, and everything is separate. All of the money raised is designated to one county or the other, and we make sure that everyone knows that that's where their dollars stay. So Ogle County is new for us. I would say it's still been about under 2 year thing for us working in the county, but it's been great, and we've seen a lot of growth there, and that's been also very rewarding because it's very different and, in a sense, a new county for us to grow in, where Lee County is more established. So we definitely see those differences there.
Sure. Keri, I know you have the board that decides where this money will go and where it won't go. Are there some organizations? I've noticed in looking at the organizations that you help to support that it seems like there are a lot of needs that are very, very basic.
Yeah, we do cover a lot of basic needs. We cover almost everything that's in social service. So most of the things that people think about that we don't cover would be animals or maybe the environment. But if it involves people, it is certainly something that somebody could apply for funding for. So the nice thing about Ashley and I working together so well is that we share a lot of the same agencies because a lot of the local agencies cover a large territory. And so they're doing work in all of these counties. So we can make sure with not just our board of directors, but we pull in community members as well to act as an advisory committee of where those funds should go. And we review that each year because we know things change a lot year to year. So we do the work to make sure that we're going with the programs that have the biggest need that's happening in the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, I imagine, difficult to say sometimes once you get past, I think Whiteside County, if I remember right, has 22 different agencies that they're serving this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of agencies and there's never enough funds to go around. There just isn't. But we do our very best to do what we can. We haven't cut the amount that we fund agencies in years. We continue to give essentially the same amount we have for years. And we do that by doing some grant fundraising and doing grant writing for our own internal programs. Both United Ways run programs ourselves, in addition to giving away funds to all of those 22 local nonprofits as well.
Mm-hmm. Can either of you tell me what percentage will generally come from individuals, say it's at a workplace or just from their homes, and others, for instance, big industrial concerns that maybe just give you a large chunk of money?
Well, I am kind of unique in this because I started out my career in United Way of Lee County. So I have worked in both United Ways.
Right.
So I'm familiar with the donor base in both of these. And it's safe to say that the vast majority of donations that come to United Way are small donations from local individuals. They make up the base of funding for both of us. It is mostly the individual who's providing those. We do get some larger donations from businesses and corporations that certainly help. But the bread and butter of both of these organizations are small local donations.
Okay, well, I guess, well, that's good,
Yes.
I guess, and number one. And number two, it's been shown that people who are not wealthy, if you will, well off, are the ones who will give a bigger percentage of what they bring home from work or wherever to organizations like yours.
Absolutely. We enter in all of this information into computer systems. And so there's a lot of typing and data entry there. And so you get used to seeing the addresses that come up. And many times the people who have addresses of apartment 3B and Lot C, and have addresses that are in the areas of town with the lower incomes are the ones who are giving, and they're giving a larger percent. I believe that's because they've had the benefit of some of the United Way programs where they can understand the need for them and how others need them. So I think if you've had a chance to walk in those shoes, it's much easier to understand the need.
Yeah, they can identify with them.
Yeah. And I know when we go, and Keri probably does this too in our workplace campaign, when we go and talk to employees, we're talking to everybody that's working on all levels of the company, from office employees to people working on the floor. We're talking to a ton of different groups of people. And I think one of the biggest things is that when I talk to someone, it's like, you don't have to give a certain dollar amount. There's not like this perfect number. I think sometimes when you get asked to donate, you're like, do I give $20 or how much is enough? Or, and I always say, if you can do $1 a paycheck, and when we go into a lot of corporations, they'll allow us to do a payroll deduction. So if you do a workplace campaign, you can have that money taken right out of your paycheck. And,
Sure.
and I know for me, if it's not there, you don't miss it as much
Right.
if you have $1 or $5 taken out, every
A little bit
pay
like a
period.
tax. Yeah.
A little bit like something. And over the year, if you do $1 a pay period, it's like $26 a year. $2 is, 52. And so that really adds up. And then if you have a company with 900 employees or 500 or even 20, if all those people do $20, that makes a huge impact. And like Keri mentioned, it is a lot of the individual givers that make up our campaign. And really what a lot of United Ways are founded on is a lot of different people coming together and giving what they can. But, no amount is too small or too large, just what you can do. And I think it's just when you care about your community, $1 a paycheck, you just think of one beverage a week or a pop or
Sure.
a coffee or something, and can you do that for your community? Can you give that up to help everyone? And I know a lot of people personally have those relationships with the agencies we work with, or know somebody that's impacted. Maybe your neighbor, a coworker, yourself have utilized those services. And,
Sure.
And we can't really put a dollar amount on that, but it's like, I feel like if you can help however you can or volunteer, anything is very helpful for us.
Well, this is as you said when we first started, this is a busy time of the year. Unlike public television or those other fundraising drives, which seem to come up constantly, you don't do that. You have a drive a year. And so tell me what your timetable is from here on out.
So we definitely focus on this time of the year. And one thing we've talked about is we have a lot of small donations, which is fantastic. It means that we're very diversified. A lot of people know about us and the work that we do. But it does mean it's a little bit more work to get those donations because we need to talk to a lot more people. So the great thing is both of us have a wonderful group of volunteers who help. We have very small offices with very few staff. And so we need that help of those volunteers to help spread our message and get that out. So right now, we're in the end of October. We have those volunteers who are out helping us with that. We have events going on, and we're working with different workplaces to have presentations. And so we're hoping to get all of that in, so that way in the beginning of the new year, we can make some of those decisions. Okay, our campaign brought in this amount. We can give away this to all of these agencies. Let's meet with them and talk with them and discuss what they need and how we can help, and so we can make some of those decisions.
Is it important to say how much you're trying to raise or what your goal is for this year, either of you?
I know for us, both counties have different goals. So, Lee is more
Sure.
established. So last year we were able to raise over $400,000. And so, our goal this year is to raise that, if not more. I always feel like it's nice to try to set the bar high and see,
Sure.
see what happens. But I feel like too, what we raise and what our requests are every year, we have not been able to fully fund every agency's request. We do what we can, and we have people that review the applications and see where can the money go to make the most impact, or where's the biggest need in our community. And we both offer a 211 helpline, which anyone can call to get connected to local resources in Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside County. And we get data from that helpline, so it shows us people from our counties, what they're calling about, what is the highest, thing that people are looking for help with. So we can take that information, and that also can help us make decisions and funding for, maybe what are the highest need areas in our communities, and, maybe those things get priority, or the biggest impact there. So that's our goal there. In Ogle, we're still growing. I would love to raise over $100,000 in Ogle County for our goal, and I feel like that's very doable. And we have a good group of volunteers that are helping us there. And in Lee County, we have about 30 volunteers helping with our campaign. So volunteers are so important, and the more people we have going out in the community helps us. We have 2 staff, myself and one other person. So it's a lot of things we're trying to do, and the volunteers really, I feel like, make it possible to do everything we do and raise the dollars we raise.
Okay. I don't want to say what's the cutoff, because that implies that you won't take money after that, but what's the cutoff?
Yeah, that is actually one of the questions that we have in our volunteer training is there isn't a cutoff, because we're always going to say yes if somebody wants to give us money. But realistically, we need to know what's coming in so we know what we have to give out. And so we'd like to get that wrapped up, before the end of the year, so that way we know what's coming. We're hoping to be able to reach 1 out of every 3 residents in Whiteside County, and that's a lot. But we know we can do it, and I don't think everyone understands that the amount of impact we have, because we cover agencies that do the fun stuff, like Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and the not so fun stuff, like hospice or April House, the Children's Advocacy Center. So we cover a lot of different things, and many times we don't realize that we need these services until we need them, and then we're very thankful that they're there in the community. So if you think about what our community would be like without all of these agencies, it becomes a problem, and we need these agencies. So we're going to do everything we can to support them.
Excellent. Well, Keri Olson, the Whiteside County United Way, and Ashley Richter from the Lee Ogle County United Way. I appreciate you coming up and all the hard work that you do. Social services are not always the areas of biggest reward financially, so you have to have that desire in your heart, I guess is the best way to put it. And appreciate you being here to share all that with us.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that about does it for this edition of Along the Rock. I'm Mark Morris, and hope you can join us next time